This customer reached out requesting a wedding cake, and this has got to be my absolute favorite cake request. So she started off by telling me that she wanted more of a traditional wedding cake, which is all white with floral, and the groom wanted to have a themed wedding cake. She then sends me a picture of what looked like Christmas ornaments, and one of them was a Batman and another one was Hello Kitty. And she tells me that when they first started dating, they went shopping together and they happened to buy these two figures because she really loved Hello Kitty and he loved Batman. So they bought these together and that's become their thing. So the groom wanted to go with a themed character wedding where it would be Hello Kitty and a Batman wedding cake. So after some brainstorming and seeing how the bride was just so willing to give up the creative control to her husband as far as their wedding cake, I went ahead and I gave them both what they wanted. I have always wanted to make one of those wedding cakes that you see like on Pinterest, where it's like this all white 5-tier traditional wedding cake, and then just on one tier or on one corner in the back, peeking through some draped fondant, is like a Spider-Man themed or a superhero theme for the husband. And this is exactly what I was going for. However, it was going to be the part that's peeking through is going to be split right in the middle, and it's going to reveal a Hello Kitty and Batman theme. I started off with 3 all-white frosted tiers, and then I put a black line right down the middle of one side. And then I added a large piece of pink fondant to one side of that black line, and then a large black piece of fondant to cover the other side of that black line. Then I just began decorating each side to match each theme, and I did use an edible image for the Hello Kitty and for the Batman logo, but everything else was made out of fondant. I want to say the part that took me the longest for this theme side of the cake would have to be those buildings on the Batman side. I did cut out the buildings on a large strip of black fondant, and then I placed that over some gray fondant, and then I cut it out all over again. Once both sides are fully decorated, I place this white fondant curtain to each side. Once both sides of that curtain are placed, I begin with the other side of the cake, which is that all white traditional wedding cake that the bride was requesting. And I start this side by using a white strip of fondant as a border for the bottom of each tier. Once all 3 tiers have that bottom border, I begin to place handmade flowers of all sizes to that white part of the cake. And I do want to include that when the bride first reached out, I had so many ideas running through my mind for what I can do with what she was requesting. I originally wanted to recreate those exact ornament figures that she had sent a picture of and have them wearing a tuxedo and a veil as cake toppers, but made out of fondant. And that's when the bride told me what her budget was and asked if I can work with her. So we did some tweaks and adjustments, and we took off a couple things, and I think what the final outcome was just ended up being absolutely perfect. The day before the wedding, the bride reached out saying that she was having a little bit of a hard time figuring out who was going to pick up the cake for her, because she then tells me that this cake was a surprise to her entire wedding party as well as a surprise to her husband. I ended up offering delivery free of charge just because I am a sucker for reactions. But she did end up paying for that delivery as well as leaving me a tip. This is the final look in full spin. I am totally obsessed with this. I hope you guys like it, and I'll be posting a part 2 with delivery and reactions.